All right, folks, so call to order the meeting Monday, February 3rd of the Town of Sykesville Planning Commission. Welcome to everyone. Our first order of business, since this is the first meeting that we have of 2025, is the election of the chair and the vice chair of the commission, who currently is me and Brandon. So do I have any nominations for this year's chair and co-chair, and vice chair, should I say?
I'll nominate Phil and Brandon.
I second.
Very good, so got that there. All in favour?
Aye.
Aye, okay, so we can move on from that and get into the real order of business. First is the approval of the minutes for December 2nd, 2024. All who are here are eligible to vote for that. I guess everybody's had the chance to look at those. Any comments or issues? Nothing to be said about that. Then I move that we approve the minutes of December the 2nd, 2024. Do I have a seconder for that?
I got it.
Brandon's got a seconder for that. All in favour? Aye. So minutes are approved and we're moving on then. There's a staff report of county updates, which I'm assuming everybody's had a chance to read. Claire's not here to present that tonight. Does anybody have any questions or issues with that particular report? No? Then I guess it'll be posted publicly when everything goes forward from this meeting, so there's no further discussion needed on that. So we can move straight to our business agenda, which is the introduction of the site plan for the Schoolhouse Road Apartments accessory building. And I know we have some people here to present tonight, so if you would care to do that, we'll be happy to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
You can let us know who you are before you do that.
You can just click it, it should wake up.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, good to go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Frank Manlinson with Fisher, Collins & Carter.
Welcome.
We're an engineering firm located in Ellicott City. We prepared a plan and have worked our way, I guess, back to submitting the concept plan to the county after answering comments, which is what you see here. Just a quick walkthrough. If we just went from west to east or left to right, the improvements that we're proposing is a small playground. Moving further east is an accessory structure. It's noted in the staff report. It's about 672 square feet, 2-story. It has a patio in the rear, and then handicap accessible walks leaving the building and going down to where all the accessible parking is. There's also the ability to go to the dumpster, where dumpsters will be placed if someone wanted a disability could come down and go in between the dumpsters that would allow you recycle or refuse without any steps or anything to keep you from going. One item in the staff report I did want to mention was what you can't see on this plan, one of the other plans in the plan said is there's a handicap accessible sign parking further up noted on the parking lot that heads to the north. There's also signed handicap space where the 5 existing spaces are, where we're replacing them with these spaces. So neither one of those spaces we believe are truly handicap accessible. They were signed that way, possibly for a resident. So what we're doing is we're removing the sign further up and we're placing all the handicap parking together here, where they'll be close to 2 accessible units. The first unit, I believe it's 7642, just north of the parking spaces there. We'll have a handicap ramp as well as some steps to enter. And as you move east, you will cross Schoolhouse Road. We're taking out a speed bump and replacing it with a speed hump with a flat top surface for accessibility. And then that too will go up and enter a ramp up to 512 units. So both of those units, the site has a lot of terrain, so we tried to select 2 units that are most favorable in grade to get through there. We're also providing the same type of, I guess, speed hump to get over to go back out to the public walk that heads down Schoolhouse Road. I don't believe there's much more to discuss except that there is an entrance, macadam entrance road that goes back to the units, and that's being replaced as well. We put that on grade with the new walk to provide a wider turning radius. Everybody had to go up there, so in case for some reason a larger vehicle had to make it up that way, they'll have a better turning radius than what existed in the past. And with that, if you have any questions.
Okay. Kevin, this in terms of code and
Yeah, in terms of,
No
code
issues
requirements
with
and all that, they were really good about coming to us pretty early in the process, meeting with myself and even Jan when she was still here, to talk about, setback requirements, code requirements and all that, it's an allowable structure, they're meeting our setbacks. So the only question I had, and I know this has gotten discussed at some point, was, and this is more, I guess, an administrative thing, but with the dumpster pad on there, I think it says it's being proposed as like 6-yard dumpsters, cubic yard dumpsters. And I know the town currently picks up the dumpsters down there, but we only have the capabilities of picking up 3-yard dumpsters, so that's something that, you guys are welcome to contract with with whoever you want.
The plan now says, we're gonna be moving to a private service
Yeah, that's fine.
for
Just
trash
wanted to
collection.
confirm that as long as if you plan to still have the town do it, just make sure the dumpsters work for our town.
I should also mention that in the staff report, because I just wanted to clarify.
Sure.
There's 5 existing spaces where we're doing the work now. One signed is handicap,
Mhm.
so 1 handicap, 4 standard. When we remove the second handicap up top, and replace that one, it we'll be replacing 4 standards with 1 net gain of handicap spaces. So it's 1 single gain overall.
Okay. And at this point in the process, you are still dealing with the county in terms of permits and.
Yes, we just resubmitted the concept plan. I would say we're more than 50% through review approvals and reviews, with the remaining comments were minimal. We haven't had a lot of large comments.
So you'll essentially, as soon as that's all sorted, you'll be coming back to us for the concept plan approval for the town.
And we only need to approve this one time. So once they get to a place that we feel good about with the county, then we'll bring it back for our approval, and they'll be
Good.
doing all right.
Sounds good. Any questions or issues that anybody's got about this? No, seems pretty straightforward as far as I can see. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Scott Lang from Pax Development. I'm the president of Pax Developments. We're the developer.
Yeah.
Working with Fisher Collins and Carter. I just had a question on the process, I guess, as you were just talking about. So you all just need to approve this once.
That's right.
At what point could we come back for your approval? Because we're just trying to minimize our timelines to get the permits as quick as possible.
So typically the way we do it is we try to be the last approval, meaning that we try to wait to make sure all the county agencies are satisfied.
So it would be final, I guess, because we're doing a concept plan and a final plan of the county, correct?
If the county's making you come back for a final plan, we would probably want to see that final plan to approve that, just to make sure that we're not approving this and then something significant changes and then we're stuck with an approved plan.
Okay, that was my question. I was wondering if we could come back once the concept plan's approved, because once the concept plan's approved, I guess there's really going to be no significant changes.
Well, and that's another thing. I can have conversations with the folks at the county too, and if they can confirm that once the concept
If there's
locked
nothing
in,
moving around,
nothing else is moving around, and as long as our commission's happy with that,
that'd be great.
Yeah, we don't want
That would be
to
hugely helpful for us, just from a
Yeah.
timing perspective,
Sure.
with our lenders and
Sure.
our contract with the seller.
Yeah, we're not looking to drag anything out.
Sure.
Dragged out. So
Great.
whenever we can coordinate those two things.
No, Kevin's been great to work with.
Great.
Keep
Okay,
it.
so we'll be in touch. You and I will be in touch, and then I'll also be in touch with the folks at the county, and then once we feel like we're in a good place, we can bring it back.
Awesome. Thank you very
Sounds
much.
good.
I appreciate
All
it.
right, good luck with it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We still have a few other things. You guys feel free to stick around, or you guys can.
Thank you. See you again. All right. So, moving on from that agenda item, we have approval of the Maryland Department of Planning Annual Report for 2024. And Kevin, if you want to just talk us through what we need to do for that.
Yeah, so this is the Carroll County Department of Planning. They're compiling information for the 2024 annual report, which is a state requirement through Maryland Department of Planning. So MDP just uses that info to produce their report, which helps guide planning policy and funding decisions for the year. So by us providing this information to be added to the county's report, it satisfies Sykesville's requirement. So obviously, I sent the report. Ours is very sparse this year. Now, one of the things I did want to point out that might be confusing, so it does ask for if there were any approved finalized site plans for the year, and I left that blank and the reason that was blank is because I clarified with them what they're looking for or what they're concerned with regarding a site plan is anything that is the creation of a new building that received a county file number that also went through the county's process, and none of our site plan approvals did that this year. So none of what we approved as far as our site plans, they're really concerned with in this, so that's the only reason that area was left blank. So I think the only thing on here really was the
Text amendment.
when we added
The garage.
the garage as a conditional use in the business local zone. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I think next year it should be a little bit bigger, assuming Enclave is approved by then, because we'll have some new roads and things of that nature. But like I said, this year was pretty.
So do we need to vote on approving it?
Yeah, just a motion to approve it.
And then I sign the letter?
Yeah, I brought it this evening.
Yeah.
You just sign it. Well,
Okay.
tonight.
So any issues with any of that, guys? Seems pretty straightforward to me.
Now the question of the one that was left open, let it go.
That's good. Okay. All right. So I move that we approve the Maryland Department of Planning annual report for 2024 and
Second?
just let me finish it up. And authorise the chair to sign the certification letter which relates to that. Seconded by Ken. And all in favour? Aye. Moving on from that. Good. So I'll sign that before I go tonight. That's approved. So we're finally into town updates, and I guess Warfield's got some.
Yeah, so I'll get to that last, but there's a few quick things. Just wanted to note that the streetscape project is probably going to be getting later this month down at the south end. So that's good. The first part's probably going to focus on Baldwin Drive and Oklahoma, and we might see if we can hold off on doing anything that tears up Main Street until after the summer, because we don't want to tear up Main Street right before spring and summer season. So it might be 2 phases, but we're at least that's supposed to kick off hopefully by the end of this month, which is going to be fantastic.
Is there any expected impact on like the farmers market for this year?
So that's the hope, is to do it in a way like have everything done that would impact the farmers market, have that finished before the farmers market season begins. So that's why we want to start that stuff kind of now and try to have that done by May. And then we'll kind of hopefully start like phase 2 of with the Main Street stuff next winter, and hopefully have that sort of at least close to wrapped up by the following spring.
Is there any sort of coordination in terms of time with the reopening of the Sykesville station / the Victoria?
We're trying to coordinate with them, but in terms of when they're actually going to submit their plans, it's hard to say, and we don't want to hold anything off until that. So, but that is another thing, is hopefully we also want to have the Baldwin Drive and their parking lot done before they open, or at least as close to when they open as possible. So that's another motivation of getting that area squared away first.
Cool.
So yeah, that's good. I had a meeting with some folks over at the county as well as the school board. They're going to be putting an addition on Sykesville Middle School, and then also reconfiguring the entire parking lot up there. I'm not sure when that'll actually be ready to present. It might be a while because they're going to have to go through the whole stormwater thing, because it's a lot of work, but just something to keep an eye out on. We will eventually have to approve that plan when the time comes, but he said it might be, it might be a while. But
is that going to be at the western end of it, on the eastern end of it?
Yeah, so it's going to go if you drive across the front, basically there's at the end of the frontage of the building, there's a big grassy area. They're going to put a pretty big 2-story addition there that they say is going to, I think right now their utilization, their, I guess, enrollment is over 100%.
It's like 103 or 105 or something like that.
So this addition is supposed to bring them down to mid to high 90s. So still high, but under 100% capacity. So it should be a really good project, and hopefully we get the result that they're looking for.
Good.
And then the other thing I wanted to note, I talked about a little bit before the meeting, but so we had a submittal for a potential development of Parcel B, which is part of the Warfield complex, the PDC district. So Parcel B is the one, if you're driving 32 towards Liberty Road, if you're crossing the intersection at Springfield, it's the first parcel on your right before you cross Springfield. So it's the parcel that's right at left.
So it's between the tunnel and the entrance.
Yeah, so yes, yeah. So if you go through the tunnel underneath the 32, it's
on your left. The left.
No, it's the one on your right.
Oh, it's the one on the right.
Yeah, it's the one on your right.
So the one closer to Northrop Grumman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So and
where the hotel was proposed years ago, the Wawa was going to go. And groceries.
CVS.
And they're proposing, so what we got is a very basic, I guess site plan, just kind of showing what they're proposing, but they're calling it an assisted living facility, which is a conditional use in the planned employment center zone, which means it will need approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals to move forward. However, in the PEC zone, any conditional use also needs report and recommendation from the Planning Commission to the BZA. So we anticipate that being on the agenda next month to look at that. So what I would encourage you guys to do before that meeting is just refamiliarize yourself a little bit with the PEC district, especially the purpose section at the very beginning. I think is important to look at in the context of this review. And then, we'll have that on the agenda. We're gonna invite the developers as well, to talk about the project, because, we don't know too much about it even at this point.
Who owns that now?
So it's still owned by the Warfield Collaborative. So everything besides the residential, the townhouses basically is still owned by the same folks, and
The lawsuit is progressing though.
it is progressing, but they did get permission from the courts to go through the process of selling that parcel, because they have these folks that, would potentially want to buy to put this assisted living facility on there. So this is, them going through the process, and the first step is coming to the Planning Commission and getting that recommendation, to BZA before the conditional use hearing. So again, hopefully we'll have a little more information before next meeting. I'll obviously put together staff reports and all that. So, we'll be prepped and ready to go for March. But just like I said, something to keep an eye on. And does everyone know where to find our town code on our website? I can certainly send out an email to everyone, with a link for everyone.
That will probably be useful.
Yeah, just so it's just so maybe everyone can bookmark it or something, and just to take a quick refresher of the PEC, and like I said, especially just that purpose section. So everyone has that in the back of their mind in the next meeting. And as we'll know, and again, this will be in the staff report, a recommendation isn't required at the next meeting, just depending on how the meeting goes, how you guys feel, information you get. But, just something to keep an eye on. So more to come on that. And that's all I got.
Good. Questions? Anything from anyone? No?
You have a size or number of units, anything yet?
Big, but big.
Big?
But
Big is nice.
the plan that they gave us doesn't, like I said, it's very, basically shows a footprint and,
It shows a building.
It shows a building footprint. They don't say how tall it's going to be. It doesn't say the number of units. It shows some parking, but we haven't done any. We don't know how many units, so we haven't done any calculations.
Interesting.
It is, yeah. It's the first commercial commercial thing that's been proposed over
Yes,
there for donkey's years.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, unique.
Yeah, so
Maybe
be
it's a
interesting
good
to see
thing.
it. I mean, would be interesting to see how that flies. Yeah.
yeah. So like I said, just something to keep an eye on.
Good. Anything else, folks? No, then I move we adjourn. Do I have a seconder?
Got it.
All in favour?
Aye.
Good to go. Thank you, folks. Good meeting. Quick.
Yeah. Yep.
Well done.